Caxton was founded in 1980 by Terry Moolman and is one of the largest publishers and printers in South Africa. The company has a market cap of 8 billion rand, a price to earnings ratio of 15 and a dividend yield of 2.5%. And again, that's a big name in media circles, Terry Moolman.
Yes, so as you say, they're in fact established by him and his mate Noel Coburn at that point, 1980. Started out as a printer, but then they kind of got into the publishing side of things as well, Farmers Weekly and a few of that sort of stuff. Understand that they print almost all of the newspapers in this country. They print for Times Media, the Sunday Times. They print now for the Independent Group as well, and then they own the Citizen and so on and so forth. They've made some attempts to get into other media types. They've got a stake in MoneyWeb, and they're sort of looking at bits and pieces of this.
But print is still their stake.
Printing stuff, and that would include, you know, books as well as sort of pamphlets and other brochures and all that sort of stuff is also in that group.
Chris, given our precursor to the discussion on print is dying, would you apply that to the Caxton story?
Absolutely. If Naspers is at one end of the spectrum in terms of innovation and technology, then Caxton, in my opinion at least, is at the other end of the spectrum. It's very much at the print end, as you say. Look, as Paul says, they have tried with passive stakes in a variety of other media. But you know, as far as their own business is concerned, I can't help thinking that it's kind of dinosaur-type business. The other problem I have with Caxton, sorry, is it's a very, very tightly held share. So you know, trying to deal in this thing is almost academic. Would
you take your money and run at this point, given what we've indicated about the print environment?
Look, Terry and his team are known for their conservatism. As Chris says, they have a sort of cheap approach to business. They have invested, yes, in printing capacity.
Cheap approach to business. You knew I was going to jump in there. Can you elaborate?
Like their magazine titles, you know, they're not necessarily, people who work on them say it's hell to get them to approve, you know, new HB pencils, let alone, you know, better quality paper. So there's that kind of thing. But they've been very adept at gathering money over the years, and they've really dominated the print environment. So that's put them in a powerful position. The thing is here is newspaper circulations are plummeting in this country. And they're plummeting particularly because the super end of their readership is going on to iPads and the internet. That's not a good scenario at all, not at all.
But surely, as you were saying, they're moving to different media types to complement the print offering.
They are, but they're relatively benign stakes, you know. So they're covering their bets, and from that perspective, I think it's quite a clever thing to do, absolutely. And as Paul says, you know, it's a well-run operation. I mean, some would actually call it a sweatshop, but I wouldn't go that far.
I'm glad we don't work for Terry Moolman, that's for sure.
But you know, yeah, I think as time evolves and people are going much more towards the electronic side, going for those, you know, things like getting stuff sent down to the Kindles, for example, reading them online, even with the limited bandwidth we've got, and even if that isn't going to change significantly, it's still enough to make it a threat to the print media, as far as I'm concerned.
Where do you think this group is going to go, given the broader print environment?
This looks like the kind of candidate that's going to drift sideways for 5 years and then get delisted by its controlling shareholders. That's what my sense of it would be.
And you're going to be accountable when we see that sell-off tomorrow morning?
Yeah, no, look, I mean, I don't know, as Chris says, it's not especially widely held. It's underappreciated, and it doesn't really get much attention. Every 6 months, there's the sort of quaint commentary that comes from the management team about Caxton, about what they're up to. But I agree with them again. You know, they took that stake.
You agree it's a sweatshop?
Well, they took that stake in MoneyWeb in order to try and do that look local thing. So there the idea was take the knock and drops and move them online. But, you know, a year and a half, 2, 3 years later, I'm not seeing really anything traction. I don't get knocked out when I go online by the presence of my look local for my residential area Houghton. I don't see it. Where is it? It's gone.
So can I go to hot or not on this one, on Caxton?
Good business, solid business, but not hot.
Paul,
Yeah, not hot for me. Well said.